Greetings and salutations from the beautiful city of Augusta, Georgia. We like to call ourselves the Garden City, where the girls are pretty, except the ones at Walmart. I don't know what you call that. Hairless buffalo? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. I got a little story basically to tell you. People are always coming by, my neighbors, and looking at the gardens that we have, and they're like, man, what is your secret? And I always tell them, actually, my secret is a fellow by the name of Lester Reed, because he taught me everything he knew about gardening. And in fact, Lester taught me, he taught me a lot of things. Taught me how to drive, taught me how to fish, taught me how to cuss. And, you know, I mean, if you're a good Southern gentleman, there's different ways to cuss. If you're around women, ladies, and you get frustrated, then you say, I ain't never seen the like in my life, damn it. But if there ain't no women around and you get frustrated, you say, I ain't goddamn never seen the fucking thing. I ain't never seen it in my entire life. Fuck, damn it. That's the way you cuss. Lester taught me that. And the whole time that I knew him growing up, I just thought of him as a sweet, gentle, nice old man. I didn't know that till later in life that there was another side to him. And that was a cold-blooded, calculated killer and an American hero. And he didn't set out to be either one of those things. Lester Reed was a farm boy from Lincolnton, Georgia. He was 15 when war broke out in Europe in 1939. He lived on a farm all his life. He didn't know where France was. I mean, he knew there was a country, but he didn't know where France was. And by the age of 18, he's in boot camp. And you know, living on a farm can make you a good, tough, strong young man, and he proved to be. So they put him in the 101st Airborne Division gliders. Yep, he was one of them that they called the Screaming Eagles. This is Lester Reed right here. And his story is, when he left that farm in Lincolnton, Georgia, and went off overseas to fight a battle, his bride gave him a silver dollar. You see it right there. That was 1 week's pay for her. And she told him to keep that silver dollar with him all the time and bring it back to her. And so he ends up part of D-Day, fights his way through Europe, and then the shit hits the fucking fan in Bastogne, Belgium. And the commanders, they're asking for support. We're told, don't worry, the 101st is on the way. Well, when they got there, they were totally surrounded by the Germans. And the Germans sent a courier to say, all right, you can surrender. General McAuliffe sent one word back, nuts. That's how tough those men were. And they fought their fucking asses off. This man, Lester Reed, everybody knew him as Lester. I knew him as Gran. In the midst of that battle, Gran dug himself a foxhole. And his commanding sergeant came over and said, Private Reed, thank you for digging this, but I've got to have this foxhole right now. So Gran jumped out, and the sergeant jumped in. And Gran said the last thing that he saw was the sergeant holding his binoculars up when a German M88 shell hit that foxhole. Naturally, there was nothing left of his sergeant. And Gran got strafe all the way down. And of course, that ended his career as a soldier. Just the space of maybe 5-10 seconds, and I wouldn't be here because he was my grandfather. Um, he had seen so many men die in battle, and he had seen them go into shock, that he knew that he could pull that coin that my grandmother gave him out of his pocket and stick it in his mouth so he wouldn't swallow his tongue, and that's exactly what he did. And he ended up bringing the coin back to my grandma. He was one of the lucky ones. Memorial Day was always, well, you know what? The war never left him. He thought about those guys all the time, but especially on Memorial Day, he would talk about, there was a fellow by the name of Droopy. They called him Droopy because his eyes kind of made him look sad. And he was totally into aviation, totally into the brand new, they're making these jet engines. And Gran would laugh at him because he was into the brand new technology, yet they all flew over in gliders with no engines. There was another guy that I recall, Steiner. Steiner was his name, and Gran and him got along real well. And there was another fellow, I don't remember his name, but he really wasn't a very good looking guy, but he was obsessed with pussy. And so all the other guys would make fun of him and basically say, yeah, once we get through France, that is, you better have a lot of money to get you a good hooker. And then there was the sergeant that was basically killed in Gran's place. Gran really adored him. He was a good leader, and he was a good man. That's what Memorial Day is about. Yeah, Gran came home, had a wonderful life. He died at the age of 92. And he died pretty much with a smile on his face. Because he was a good man. He was a good man. But he never forgot those guys that went into battle with him and didn't make it. So while you do your barbecue tomorrow, think about Droopy and Steiner and the horny pussy guy, and give them a little thanks for what they did for you. Y'all be good.